Welcome to your meeting minute for the Planning Board's July 11th meeting. The first case was a continued public hearing on a site plan review about wetlands and shoreland conditional use permits for the construction of a commercial vehicle storage area, an accessory storage building, and associated site improvements on the property at 127 Portsmouth Ave.
We felt, and the board voted unanimously, that the risk at this property of such a large development that encompassed the whole, on almost the entire buildable portion of the parcel was too much for the town. And we have these regulations, and that's what they're for. We don't have them so we can waive them every time. And this was the point of developing the shoreland, was to limit development around these important resources.
I'm just very troubled by this, and I feel that this sets, I don't recall anything impacting buffers and shoreline protection areas to such an extent as this.
The board decided to continue the application at the next meeting. The third application was Planning Board Case 24-8 for the design and review of a proposed mixed-use development located at 76 Portsmouth Ave. Members of the developers team presented their proposal to add 3 4-story buildings in this conceptual mixed-use development.
So you can see in the front here, we have an L-shaped building. And this again is a mixed-use neighborhood development with 3 separate apartment buildings. This front building would consist of commercial space as well as apartments. All 3 buildings will have parking on the basement level with 4 stories above grade. The orange are the wetland impacts. And again, these are only for man-made wetlands. We're not proposing any impacts to natural wetlands at all. And then we're proposing some wetland buffer impacts, which are the green and the yellow.
The public was invited to speak about the project.
Every one of the storm drains on Bonnie Drive and Haven Lane were buried under the snowbanks on that storm. By the time we had that rain event last winter, we had water ponding in this stretch of Bonnie Drive on the even side of the road, as well as a steady creek of water running straight down Haven Lane. Our storm drains just aren't working well enough.
We contend this is outside of the scope of the article as it was approved. Directly connecting 3 buildings 4 stories in height with 121 apartments and a triplex to one of Exeter's R2 neighborhoods cannot be, quote, consistent with the scale and historic character of the J.D. Hill neighborhood.
I understand development, commercial, residential projects, and the need for people to be able to utilize the land that they buy and potentially make a profit off it. But I see no reason why they can't keep whatever they're doing from a commercial or residential perspective to the Portsmouth Avenue side.
I recently spent all of my retirement money to build next to my son because I loved the town of Exeter, not the city of Exeter, which is going to become, if we start adding buildings, that's going to ruin the beauty. When I wake up in the morning, I look at a sunrise. I don't want to look at a high rise.
The idea of the mixed-use neighborhood development is to create a green, walkable community that has your retail and your housing all together. And so I think that a lot of the concerns that are coming up today is this plan may not reflect the intention of that.
No action was taken on the project as it's still in its conceptual state. To watch the full meeting, visit our Exeter TV YouTube page.